Hello, and welcome to a web series on home and community-based services from Alaska's Division of Senior and Disabilities Services. Today we will discuss some key concepts, resources, and questions a potential provider should ask themselves before starting the certification process. Our learning objectives will cover the following questions. What are HCB services? Are there provider qualifications? Questions to ask before starting the provider certification process. What does SDS expect from providers? And what resources are available for you during the certification process? But first, thank you. We know that you wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't have a heart for service, and we really need you. Alaska has a shortage of qualified providers. The more providers we have strengthens our state's capacity to help other Alaskans. More providers in our community means that there are more choices for the people we serve. And providers build an inclusive community by removing the barriers that prevent living at home or participating in our community. What are home and community-based services, or HCB? These are services for people that qualify for Medicaid and need long-term services and supports, or LTSS. LTSS services are for our frail elders or individuals that experience a physical, intellectual, or developmental disability. Services provide an alternative choice to institutional care. They are designed to promote independence so that people can live at home and overcome barriers that would prohibit them from living the life they choose. And these services support community inclusion to ensure that all individuals experience equal rights and opportunities. You may be wondering if there are specific provider qualifications. Yes, there are, and the certification process to demonstrate an agency is qualified won't be easy. The standards are high because the stakes are high. There are non-negotiable legal requirements you must meet to operate because you're working with vulnerable individuals that need support. The program administrator is the leader of your agency. They have specific requirements they must meet for this position because they are legally accountable for the services delivered. They must be able to pass a background check on both the state and federal level. In fact, all agency staff must be able to pass a background check in order to provide services. A program administrator must also demonstrate that they have the qualifications and experience. They must be at least 21 years old, have education or work experience in the social services field, document completed required trainings, and have at least 2 years of supervisory experience of 2 or more employees. Each service type an agency may choose to offer is unique with unique certification requirements. This includes the scope of what is offered as a service and who it's provided to. There are also financial requirements to start and maintain while operating as an agency in order to assure continuous services to the public. The requirements to enroll as a Medicaid provider or obtain specific licenses also varies depending on the services you choose to offer. Here's a breakdown of the different paths for becoming a provider. You can see that both paths require certification with SDS, enrollment with Conduent, in order to deliver and bill for services. However, if an agency intends to offer residential services or homes for clients, they must also meet the requirements of the Alaska Assisted Living Licensing Program. What questions should you ask before starting the provider certification process? The biggest one is why. What makes you want to be a service provider? Remember, we do need you and know that you are passionate to serve others. But we want to make sure that you have asked yourself this question. Starting a business is difficult, and there are extensive legal requirements for certification and continuous operation as an agency. We're also working with unique individuals. You will have to embrace the idea that the same service type will never be delivered in exactly the same way for each person. You and your staff will have to actively adapt your services at the direction of your client to be person-centered and accommodate their goals. This is a primary mission of Alaska's home and community-based services, supporting individuals to live the life they choose. As a program administrator or agency owner, you will also need to support your staff as they work directly with clients on a daily basis. There will be many meaningful and inspiring moments, but there will also be hard days that require your leadership to ensure that quality services are always delivered. To achieve this, it will help you to clearly identify why you are a certified provider. So, in deciding if you want to be a provider, consider the difficult questions of a personal, professional, and financial nature. Ask yourself, is this a good time in my life to start a business that's focused on the health and safety of others? Do I have the time for the training and professional development required to operate an agency? Do I have the financial resources to support myself during the certification process? Some people may find that they have to leave the agency they currently work for while completing the certification process to avoid a conflict of interest. This isn't a quick process, so you'll have to have a plan to make ends meet if you are in such a position. What are the expectations for providers from SDS, or Senior and Disability Services, during certification? We expect you to invest your most valuable resource of all, time. And you're going to have to invest a lot of it to master the agency's legal requirements, develop a detailed business operation plan, and after becoming a certified provider, ensure that you have continuous compliance with the laws. You will also have to invest time in building community relationships. This will include each client and their supports, providers and resource networks, as well as local, state, and federal agencies. Building strong relationships within each of these stakeholder groups will be essential to planning, delivering, and billing for services. What are the resources available to help you successfully become a certified provider? Your number one resource are the laws. They are the standards you must meet to be able to operate. This includes federal, state, and local laws. These laws are not just limited to delivery of services. As a business, you will have many legal requirements to follow, from taxes and workers' compensation to municipal building codes. Take the time to understand all of your legal requirements by reading them for yourself. SDS is also a resource for you. The Provider Certification and Compliance Unit, or PCC, will be the team that will review your certification and monitor your continued compliance. You will also work with them if there are any changes to your agency information or you have concerns about your compliance. They can help you address potential compliance issues before they escalate to a level that would require enforcement. You also have a resource within the training unit of SDS. You will find that there are a lot of learning opportunities available through an on-demand presentation like this one, or through in-class instruction. You can find contact information and other resources on the SDS webpage. Take the time to browse the SDS webpage to become a more informed provider. There are also other many resources available to you. The Center for Medicaid and Medicare, or CMS, is an excellent place to go and become more informed about your requirements on a federal level, as well as identify other educational opportunities. You should also visit Conduent or Medicaid's billing agent at medicaidalaska.com. This agency has a lot of helpful information for you as a provider and many educational opportunities. They do have specific requirements for enrollment that you'll have to be familiar with in order to meet them. The Alaska Assisted Living Licensing Team within Alaska's Division of Health and Healthcare Services will be the team that you will need to work with if you choose to offer residential home and community-based services or offer homes to your clients. Visit them to get more information, and you can locate them within the Residential Licensing and Background Check section of Healthcare Services. Finally, the Department of Commerce, Community, and Economic Development is an excellent resource for you in starting your business in meeting some of your core requirements. You should also look into finding a mentor. We encourage you to connect with certified providers that are already working in the field. This will give you practical insight on how to work through the unique situations you may encounter as a provider. So, final thoughts for today. Make sure you ask yourself the hard questions and be honest with yourself, even if the answers are difficult. Prepare to invest your most valuable resource, time. And remember, building relationships will help you become a provider that delivers services that are person-centered and promote inclusion. You can always contact Senior and Disability Services PCC and training units by email. And you also can subscribe to our YouTube channel, SDS Training, to learn more about home and community-based services, certification, and other related topics. Again, we can't thank you enough for even considering certification, and we hope to hear from you soon. Bye for now.